Mornings. Not exactly the most excitable time of the day, but there's something somewhat satisfying about being awoken by the first rays of light hitting your eyes and letting the birds be the first to greet you good morning. The air is always a bit different in the mornings. Stiller, stiffer, as if the morning dew weighs down more than just the grass that it sits on. Watching the sun rise is a rare treat, but it's one that I cherish. There's something about those blues and yellows blending together in the sky that makes me feel energized for my day. I consider myself a night owl, but there's something oddly comforting about watching the light win against the darkness and seeing the sun take its rightful place as ruler of the skies once more. Of course, that special feeling can only last so long before the sun dries up the dew and the sounds of cars bury the birds' tunes. It's not all bad though. I enjoy the hustle and bustle of people scrambling to their destinations. I like the way nature seems to come to life with us, the way the trees seem to awaken with the wind. My daily morning drive is my second favorite part of the day. Driving in general is always my place of comfort, and a decent drive is actually something that I greatly appreciate before starting my day. I like to think of it as a bit of a distressor, driving familiar highways and listening to old tunes. Anywhere from 9 to 6 is usually considered the meat of somebody's day. Whether it's forcing yourself to attend classes that you really don't want to be in, or reminding yourself that the only reason you even go into work is for the paycheck it provides you with. This is usually the start of the longest part of your day, and sometimes you just need some fearlessness to get through it. Then again, sometimes you get there, and it's not so bad.
There's something to tell you. You want me to share it with you?
Stacy guys, it's going down.
While I do enjoy both work and school to a healthy extent, there's no denying that there are some days that are worse than others. Honestly, if I can get through the day with a glass half full attitude, that's more than enough for me. Bonus points if I can keep the boredom at bay as well. On days I have school, I'm usually home by noon, and something about simply going to a few classes and finishing up a few papers before the sun has even reached its peak makes me feel like I have accomplished so much. I'm the type of person that once I start moving, I can't stop. So I'll do a week's worth of activities in a day on days like these. Baking, cleaning, homework, hell, if I get everything done early enough, I might even go out and get some of that vitamin D my doctor says I'm lacking. These days tend to feel very fast-paced, but in a good way. Accomplishing so much in such a short amount of time feels almost freeing, like a weight falling off my shoulders.
You complete.
3 p.m. marks the hottest part of the day. The sun is starting on its journey back down into the pits, and as always, it will leave with a vengeance. A nice blue sky and fluffy white clouds may try to quell the sun's rays, but the sun usually remains victorious in the end. They say heat is a byproduct of energy, but sometimes I wonder if that energy is truly traveling all the way from the sun, or rather it's sucked from our very essence in order to power itself. I generally like the hotter months of the year, mostly just because I dislike the cold, But there's something about this time of day that usually tires me out a bit with that added layer of heat. Even the grass seems to wilt a bit, and if it wasn't for the comfort of the cool night, I wonder how green the grass would really be during this time of the year. That's not to say that there's not still some good to come out of this part of the day, though. Just because people tend to get a bit overheated easily doesn't mean all of nature does. If you've never gotten the chance to watch a field of sunflowers throughout the day, I'd have to tell you that you are missing out. So many of them turning their heads collectively to stare dead at the sun all day long as if they have one collective mind controlling them. Windmills also tend to look the most dramatic at this part of the day. Their overwhelming presence and unsettling location are only amplified by their looming shadows. Watching them from a distance is like watching a field of giants come to life. There really is beauty to be found in all parts of the day, just as there is in all parts of the world. When the sun starts its descent back down into the sky, it must shift its focus from sucking the energy from the Earth's surface to using that energy to pull the moon back up from the depths of the night. My day usually cools down with the heat. As much as I love the energy that midday provides, it's also nice to wind down with the sun. One thing that I've always found really beautiful about this world is how everything has a time and a place. By the afternoon, bugs are out in full force. Geese are hidden in their dens for the night, and shadows have already started their climb up the trees. There is always something to look forward to. Everything seems to awaken at a different time, and if you're paying enough attention, you might just be able to greet them good morning, no matter what time of day it is. If you ask me, the sunrise is overrated. New days, new beginnings, all that, sure. It's always nice to have a bit of hope in somebody's life. But I like the bittersweet taste of endings. I like the way the night devours the day, swirling pinks, blues, and oranges, slowly eating away at the sun until there's nothing left. I like when the sky bleeds red while the moon watches in contentment. There's always been something special about being awake when the sun rises, but not enough people slow down enough to watch the sunset either. The night can be scary, but it can also be beautiful, and something about the dusk that brings the night to us feels precious in a way that I can't quite describe. It's still yet lively, hollow yet full. It's the time of day that I think I cherish the most despite it being so short-lived.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
By 9, even the shadows have been engulfed by the night. The stars slowly start to peek out from hiding, and the moon's glow has been cast onto the ground like a stage light shining on Earth. So much happens at night, yet so little of it is seen. Fireflies make their way over fields of green, and flowers take in all that they can from the soft light of the moon. There's something chaotic about the night that we seem to find soothing. So many things we never wish to run into awaken in the night. Nature is beautiful at a distance, but even a sailor could tell you how dangerous high tide can be. There's always something to look forward to, though. Sure, the waves can be scary, but they bring in enough lore and loot to last a lifetime.
난 마치 꿈에서 꿈을 꾼 듯이 널 찾아서 헤매다 길을 잃어가 다신 깨지 못해 너란 꿈에 살아 Every day and night I'm gonna chase you.
Yeah. 자리 화이찬 한겨울이 덮친 듯 yeah. 시간은 다 얼어버리고.
Sometimes the changing of the seasons bring in that same lore. While a winter's night remains still and cold, summer's heat brings a fire to the night that's hard to pull out. A fire that melts the snow before it can hit the ground, making sure it remains distant, like the stars littered in the night sky.
흐름아 심장 바꿔줄 사람 어디도 없나.
이런 빼어먹을 세상 나만 혼자 봐도 됐어. 갈 길을 잃은 채 갈 곳을 잃은 채 나만 바보 됐어.
As much as I love the busyness of the morning, the slow stall of the early morning usually gets me stuck in my head. If you're anything like me, you need a good cool down from your day. Sometimes that means keeping yourself busy by listening to a bit of music or watching a good movie, or sometimes that means just letting yourself wander aimlessly through different thoughts and occurrences, letting your mind travel through different what-ifs and could-haves. It's days like these that I find it the hardest to fall asleep, getting lost in your own head and just simply having to hope that something can either shine a light in the right direction or tire you out enough to quit fighting it.
전부 떠나가